everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things, and today I have a book review for you. Before I get started on that though, I've noticed I have a few repeat viewers, and if you find yourself watching my videos often, please subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of my videos and you don't have to go searching. Okay, so today's review is of this book, The Women Who Run with Wolves, Myths, Stories, and Wild Women Archetypes by Clarissa Estes. This book, I did not read all of this book. I listened to it and I am slightly confused because what I listened to is not exactly what is in this book. The book is more like something you would see in a college English class. It's got a whole slew of reference pages and an encyclopedia, and each myth or fairy tale that is talked about has a bunch of analyzation. So after I had started this, like physically reading it, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get this done before I have to return it. I'm reading 3 other books. So I got the audiobook of it, and it's a lot shorter. Um it's like 2 hours and something. I found it on Hoopla. And it still goes into a little bit of the analysis side of the stories, but it's like condensed down to what this is. And I really enjoyed the audiobook because Clar- Clarissa, Mike, am I saying her name right? Yeah, Clarissa Pinkila Estes, I guess doctor. Um she actually did the audio, like she actually did the narration for it. And so it was like she had all of the stories, the myths, in front of her, and she would read it, and then she would give her thoughts on it. It wasn't her exact thoughts that were in the book, but it was very similar. And I liked the condensed version very much. Um I I'm not normally into analyzing things like this. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I thought this was interesting, but it's not something I gravitate towards. So, the shortened version was very nice for me. I didn't look. My favorite part of English in college was when we got to pick a grim fairy tale and the version of Disney, the Disney fairy tale, and then compare and contrast them. That was my favorite part of my English class in college. So this kind of felt like that. It does primarily talk about women and how they're portrayed in these stories, and why why is it always a witch? Uh, I didn't even put this in my journal. I I didn't know how to write about it. I'm not going to be reviewing this very well, I don't think, because I feel like I'm not smart enough. Um, that being said, uh, it talks about how in a lot of fairy tales, I'm not gonna say all, but a lot of fairy tales, the women are the witches. The women have power. The women are the ones that can control, like, they follow their intuition, and they are the ones that get things done. And, yeah. Um, I don't know what to say about this. Okay, okay, okay. I'll tell you what is talked about in this. The story sets you. How about that? That that's a good way. Yeah, okay. So, one of the stories that, oh my gosh, my eye is bothering me so bad. One of the stories that is used in this book is La Loba, which was the story that women were made from wolves. The story is, there's a witch who puts the bones into a cauldron and then does some magic, and then the bones transform into a wolf, and then as it runs off it turns into a woman. And that was a really interesting story. I had never heard that one before. um there's a story of Bluebeard where he gives his wife, she lives at, or wife or captive person, I'm not sure exactly, it kind of got a little confusing. um and he gives her keys to the house before he leaves, and he's like, look, you're allowed to go to all of the rooms, any room you want to go to, as long as you don't go to the one that this key opens. And her and her sisters go through the whole castle, and then they find it. And then because he is asks for his keys back whenever he comes back, and she doesn't give him the key, and he realizes she, oh well, and he just takes her down to the other ones, and apparently it's where all of his other wives went. Um, and so there's talk of being being a woman is like being a captive, like nowadays, or I guess, when was this written? Like in the 90s and the earlier years, um, women had less rights and it was oppressive. Um, and then there was talk of the doll in her pocket, I think is what it was called. Um, but it's the stepmom and sisters um made a plan. The fire went out in the house, and there's no way to light it without the coal. So they send the girl into to find Baba Yaga. Yeah, is that her name? Anyway, the witch that's in the woods. And the witch gives her these tasks, and through the whole story the girl is listening to this doll that she keeps in her pocket. And that's the representation of intuition, and I was like, yeah, we gotta listen to our intuition. I don't remember the name of the story, but there was the one of the old man who's going through the forest, and he sees lights. He's lost, and he sees lights in a distance, and he goes towards them, and just as he gets to the door he collapses in the house. And an old woman is there, and she scoops him up and she cradles him and rocks him, and as she rocks him, the more time she rocks him the younger he gets. um that one was interesting too. And then there was one that we talked about La Llorona, because yeah, but it was just an interesting read all in all. um if you want, you know what, I'll read the little synopsis over here, and then you can decide if it's something you might be interested. Within every woman, there is a wild and natural creature, a powerful force filled with good instincts, passionate creativity, and ageless knowing. Her name is Wild Woman, but she is an endangered species. Through the gift of wildish nature come to us at birth, society attempts to civilize us into rigid roles, has plundered this gift, this treasure, and muffled the deep, life giving messages of our own souls. Without wild women, we become over domesticated, fearful, uncreative, and trapped. Dr. Clarissa Pinkila Estes, Jungarian, I think it's Jungarian, analyst and Fedora storyteller, shows how women's vitality can be restored through what she calls psychic psychic archaeological digs in the ruins of female unconscious. In the women who run with wolves, Dr. Estes uses multicultural myths, fairy tales, folk tales, and stories chosen from over 20 years of research that help women reconnect with the healthy, instinctual, visionary attributes of the wild woman's archetype. Dr. Estes collects the bones of many stories looking for the archetypal archetypal motifs that set a woman's inner life into motion. La Loba teaches about the transformative function of the psyche. In Bluebeard, we learn what to do with wounds that will not heal. In Skeletal Woman, we glimpse the mystical powers of relationship and how dead feelings can be revived. Vasilisa the Wise brings our lost womanly instincts to the surface again. The Handless Maiden recovers the wild woman in initiation rites, and the Little Match Girl warns against the insidious dangers of the life spent in fantasy. That one was a sad story. In these and other stories, we focus on many qualities of the wild woman. We retrieve, examine, love, and understand her, and hold her against our deep psyches as one who is both magic and medicine. The Women Who Run with Wolves, Dr. Estes has created a new lexicon for describing the female psyche. Fertile and life giving, it is a psychology of women in the truest sense, a knowing of the soul. So yeah, if this is something that you're interested in, I'll leave a link for it in the description. Um, have you read this? What did stuff over? Have you read this? What did you think of it? I thought it was pretty good. Um, so that is really my review for this book. I don't know what else to say about it. Um, it's an analysis. If you do get the book form, there's a lot more in it than if you have the audio. Okay, so reading challenges are one of my favorite things to do. These are this year's challenges to 2025. So on my adult reading challenge, my 2025 reading challenge, I still have Magic, Movies, and Murder by Emily Fluke. These are the ones I still need to read. The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. That one is not in any of it's nowhere free. So I'm gonna have to buy it. The House on Hound Hill by Maggie Price. I did start that one, but I stopped whenever I was reading so much other stuff that so I have that one and I've slowly been reading it. Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori, I think it is Gilmore. Gilmore. I can't remember if there's an L or an I. It's misspelled on my paper. I have this book. It's up here somewhere. I will be reading that soon. The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. I have it on hold at the library. Hopefully it's available soon. Not ready for me yet. Ready or Not by Tara Bastone is another one. None of my free places have it. I have 3 different apps. The libraries don't have it either. I'm like, what if I don't like it enough to own it? I'm almost done with A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsky. Can't wait to talk about that one. The Near Witch by Victoria Schwab. I'm excited to read that one. Uh, Winter's Promise by Christella Davos. I'm excited for that one too. And Bird Cottage by Ava Maher. Maher. That is one that I am having trouble finding in English. In English is I could read Spanish, but the only copy that I can find of that is in I think it's Dutch. Um I know that I'm very pale and I could probably do a Dutch accent if I tried really hard, but I only know English, Spanish. I know some sign language. I'm not even fluent in Spanish. I've just been doing Duolingo. Hey, I'm almost at a full year. I started it. Started Duolingo and then things got hectic and I had to stop doing stuff other than packing and moving and life got kind of crazy and then I picked it back up and if every once in a while I drop the ball because we're not home until like 10 o'clock at night or whatever. And I normally do it right before I go to bed. Um, but hey, I'm working on my languages. So now I have the preteen teen reading challenge, and this one is not going to get finished. The only books off of this that I am gonna have access to is The Girl in White by Lindsay Curry, because that one's at my library. Um, Nightmares by Jason Siegel. I have that one. I've seen somewhere. I've seen it. I don't know where. Baker's Magic by Diane Zoller. Dana Zoller. Diane. I don't. My brain is not working now. I'm not sure how you say her name. Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury. It's an every year read now. I'm just saying. Um, and The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Riordan? Riordan? I looked at it and now I can't say it. Okay. I have access to those, but the ones that come from the library, You never know when they're gonna be like, okay, you're up. Because some people keep the book for as long as they can. I cannot find or will not be able to buy Hat of Silver Bush by L.M. Montgomery, unfortunately. I am really sad because I like L.M. Montgomery's work. The Haunting of Aveline Jones by Phil Hicks. The only time I can find, every time I find this book, it's in Spanish. I guess I could practice reading in Spanish, but my libraries don't have this one. I would have to actually buy it. Um, The Secret Garden by Lois Gladys Lepard. I cannot find this one. I am only the only time I can find anything by her, it's a series called Maddie something. I don't remember. About a little girl. So that is this challenge. I'm just And then we're gonna move on to my paper pie challenge. These are books that come from my website. So I read Lightning Girl by Alicia Dixon and The Wayward Witch and the Feeling Monster by Sally Rippin. Loved them. I have The Book of Secrets by A.L. Tate? Tate? I'm not sure how you say that. I have Vlad, the World's Worst Vampire by Anna Wilson. I've read this one before. I've talked about this one before. And I have A Spooky House by Sally Rippin, and I've read this one before too, and I'm excited to read it again. This is like me and my kid read this every year for Halloween. The spooky. We do spooky things. Now, two of the books that are on this list I had once upon a time. And I don't have them anymore, and I don't know where they are, just like a lot of my books. If you watched my previous videos, you know I'm missing over 20 books. And so Race to the End of the World by A.L. How do you say that? Tate from the other book that I showed you. That one is hard to find now. I don't think it's on my website anymore. Escape from Wolfhaven Castle by Kate Forsyth. I think it's how you say it. That was one of them I swear I've had. I've done a video on it, I think. But these ones I didn't have. The Cherry Pie Princess by Vivian French. The Armored Gortusk by Chris Humphrey. The Raspberry Mix-Up by Harriet Whitehorn. The Midnight Unicorn by Alice Hemming. And Tom and Tallulah and the Witch's Feast by Vivian French. I want all of them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy them all. Fall is coming up. That means we're going to be doing more fall activities. And so our money has to go towards the activities, obviously. You know, I want to make sure my kid goes to the fall festivals and the carnivals and then the small town events that are happening. And yeah. So I might not be buying all of those. Unless I can sell some books. Anyway, that is my reading challenges. And so if there's still time. I know there are some people out there that read so fast. So if you want a copy of one of these, I will put them in the description along with ways to get them. And And I wanted to let y'all know a little cheeky sneak peek of the future. Um, I am almost done with the A Marvelous Light. So that video is gonna be coming soon. I have a video of an event that I went to coming up soon. If I haven't already posted it, oh, it's not gonna be a very long video. Um, and I have my fall recommendations coming up, and I've already started working on making my list for 2026. Um, my challenges for 2026, and I've already got it typed up, but I'm not gonna share it with you just yet. Um, the books that the adult challenge is already made. And let me tell you, I am excited about next year. Like, I want to start reading them this year. Um, so that is all going on. I'm gonna be reorganizing these shelves down here, these junior high, high school type books slash classics, because on that side there are some classics that we read in high school, but they're not allowed in high schools anymore. So all of those are gonna be moving to the shelf way over here. Um, and that way I can spread out my Stephen King books a little bit because they're all like piled up there. And if you look, you can barely see it. You can't tell from here. The shelf is kind of bowed. And I'm like, is that because of the books or was it already like that? So now I'm a little nervous. Um, it's okay. So that is all I'm gonna talk about. I know I've gone on about not the women and wolves for a while. Um, but stay tuned for more. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you made it this far, comment below um what you thought about the women who run with wolves. And are you doing these reading challenges or are you waiting for 2026 reading challenge? Oh, my coffee's cold. Um, yeah, let me know. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, if you want to. If you're not sure, go check out my channel. My face bubble will pop up somewhere down here. And then you can check out my other videos and see if I'm someone that you want to subscribe to. And share this video because sharing is caring, and someone else might want to know about this book. I will see you on my next video. Bye.